Happy Labor Day, the holiday that signals the unofficial end of summer, the start of school, that last spark of joy before a long, cold winter. Hey, it's not all bad. There's also football. Yeah, that's more like it. But how and why did we just decide to give ourselves a day off in the middle of the year? Well, keep listening because that's what we're talking about on this episode of 5-Minute Trivia.
We choose to go to the moon.
Right now, you like me.
Practice? We're talking about practice, man.
Welcome to 5-Minute Trivia, where we're making the world smarter 5 minutes at a time. I'm your host, R.M. Zuberi. Today, we're talking about Labor Day. The idea of celebrating people's labor isn't a new one, nor is it an American one. Labor celebration days were rooted in France as far back as the 1700s. But things really kicked off during the international labor movement of the mid-19th century. This was a time when workers all over the world really started advocating for their rights and used the strike as a method to get what they wanted. And what they really wanted was to work 8 hours a day. That may not sound like a big deal today. If anything, working 8 hours a day, day after day, sounds kind of brutal in the modern world. But back then, working conditions were so bad, working for 8 hours was something you had to fight for. In the Australian state of Victoria, stonemasons went on mass strike in 1856. This eventually became a yearly celebration in May and spread to other countries. One of those countries was Canada, where a man named Peter Maguire witnessed the festivities and liked them. Peter Maguire wasn't just a casual observer. He was an activist. He helped organize numerous labor unions across America and served as vice president of the American Federation of Labor. He thought America needed a day to celebrate labor and proposed that idea back in 1882. Or at least some people say he did. Others credit a different man. Weirdly enough, his name is also Maguire. Not Peter, but Matthew. And his proposal also happened in 1882. Just a coincidence, nothing to see here. Matthew Maguire was the secretary of the Central Labor Union of New York. He proposed a yearly September celebration of labor. Why September? Well, it's a good month for a holiday like this because the weather is still nice and it sits right there in the middle of the calendar between July 4th and Thanksgiving. But as the idea gained steam, not everyone was on board with September. To understand why, we have to dive into some messy stuff. 3 years after the Dooley Maguires proposed their ideas, the American Federation of Labor passed a resolution calling for the adoption of the 8-hour workday. This resolution passed on May 1st, 1885, but wouldn't go into effect until the next year, May 1st, 1886. In solidarity with that resolution, the International Workers of the World co-opted May 1st as their International Workers' Day. When that day came, the AFL called a coordinated worker strike. On May 3rd, demonstrators gathered at the McCormick Harvesting Machine plant in Chicago in support of the strike. Things got out of hand, and 2 demonstrators were killed. The next day, there was another rally in Chicago's Haymarket Square. It was supposed to be a peaceful rally. A demonstrator threw a bomb at the police. The blast and the gunfire that followed killed 7 police officers and 4 demonstrators. May Day has since become synonymous with the Haymarket Square incident. So synonymous, in fact, that many labor unions wanted to make May 1st Labor Day to commemorate those that had fallen in support of the labor movement, which was the exact reason that politicians stayed away from that date. It had uncomfortable associations with anarchist and socialist movements, and they didn't want to commemorate a riot where people died. I mean, just imagine what those celebrations might turn into. The state of Oregon took matters into its own hands, and in 1887 was the first state to declare a Labor Day on the first Monday of September. 30 states followed, and Congress officially passed a bill in 1894 that was signed by President Grover Cleveland. This made Labor Day a federal holiday. Today, Labor Day stands for so much more than a celebration of work. It marks the unofficial end of summer. Labor Day weekend is the start of college football season and the midpoint of the U.S. Open tennis tournament. Kids go back to school. And if your fashion sense is still stuck somewhere in the last century, it's the last day you can wear white until Memorial Day. So put on your finest, take in a football game, and don't work too hard. Better yet, don't work at all. That's our show this week. Join us next time on 5 Minute Trivia. Thanks for listening.